For decades now, there has been this ongoing accusation by the black community that essentially says the reason the Republicans and conservatives keep opposing things such as legislation and policies and politicians and others that will benefit the black community is racism. In short, Republicans are racists. Anyone connected with them has to be a racist as well. Well, while that may seem to be the case, let the record show it is anything but. The real problem is one that most blacks don't want to consider, and that is practically everything that we support is based on our ignorance and stupidity. Over the past few decades, everything that we pursue as a community now is based on our understanding of how things work. The problem is our understanding is woefully substandard as compared to every other community and the national structure which our economy is built on. The objections that the Republicans and conservatives have against legislation and politicians that support the black community is that in every instance they will serve to weaken or destroy our economy and this nation. If we go back and look at every politician that is elected by the black community, he or she is one that is either playing us for a bunch of fools or is as ignorant as we are. The Bible says the people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That not only means a lack of knowledge of Him, God, but a lack of knowledge of being able to identify those people and things that will bring you harm. As much as the black community claims there ain't no stopping us now, as the song says, because we have civil rights, we have essentially sold ourselves back into slavery to the same people that we were delivered from. We have returned to the plantation and are looking for massa to protect us from those mean old racists that set us free. And herein lies the problem. See, I don't mind having to deal with people that have different opinions than I have about the issues that affect all our lives. However, one thing I can't and will not tolerate is dealing with a fool that refuses to or is incapable of admitting that they don't have a clue of what is happening to this nation and how to correct it. And that goes all the way up to the president, this present president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. Now, I don't really blame him as much as I blame us for putting him there as the nation's leader. Here's a man that, despite all of the accolades that were bestowed upon him, is proving to be just what Hillary Clinton said he was: a person that has had absolutely no experience in governing anything. As uh, Sarah Palin exclaimed, the only experience he has is as a community organizer. And yet, and I am using this term generically because I have long since gotten off of the plantation, went gaga over him because he represented our first opportunity to have a black president. We flocked to the polls in record numbers. Black celebrities poured millions of dollars into his campaign and used their celebrity status to help him get elected. And for what? It boiled down to one thing, and that is he is black. Never mind his inexperience. Never mind he represents the people that held us in slavery over 400 years and still do today. Never mind for you black Christians out there that he represents the party that is at war with the Christ you claim to serve and love. Never mind that to date, just about everything he has done has essentially made or had the opposite result that he promised during his campaign, despite all the warning signs given to him by those with far more experience in those matters than he had. One example is the team of economists that he assembled to look at our economic situation and give him advice on how to fix the problem. When they gave him their recommendations, he threw them out because they didn't meet what his agenda was all about. So he assembled another team that, for the most part, were made up of theoreticians, as I call them, that had a bunch of unproven theories of how things should work, and he followed them, and you can see the result. Things have gotten dramatically worse. Now he wants another 4 years, and once again, stupidity rules in our community. When, once again, the only thing blacks are looking at is his skin color. That's all that matters. To hell with the economy. To hell with our moral foundation. To hell with national security. To hell with America. We want Obama because he is black. Do you know what the real problem is? It's this. He represents the personification of our intelligence, meaning if he fails, then it will prove to the rest of the nation just how stupid we really are. And we can't deal with that, can we? And that's what it really is all about, isn't it? Our damned black pride. All over this nation, people are suffering because of our stupidity. And the minute they complain about Obama's policies, we call them racists and Uncle Toms. Even when his policies are hurting us, we find some way to blame George Bush and the Republicans for it. We do that because That is what President Obama, does. But I don't have to blame Obama for the situation this nation is in. I live in Detroit, Michigan, and have all of my nearly 66 years. And I have seen this city go from an international powerhouse in the automotive, entertainment, technological arenas with a population of nearly 2 million to now fighting to stave off bankruptcy with a population of about 750,000. And what is the difference between then and now? Blacks are now in total control of this city. And if you think this is an anomaly, think about this. Every city in this state that is on the verge of bankruptcy has one major characteristic. Well, just about every city. And you know what that is? They are all controlled by blacks. Yet, black leaders in the black community want to claim steps that the Republican governor here, Rick Snyder, who has only been in office for about a year and a half, that are intended to turn things around, is, you guessed it, racist. Mind you now, and I want you to listen to this very carefully, his predecessor, Jennifer Granholm, who held office for the previous 12 years when things started going bad, is the one who started the ball rolling with implementing a lot of these so-called racist solutions. The problem is she is a Democrat, and you can't blame massa for your problems, can you? Once again, in closing, it's not racism for the reason there may be some racism in it. In people opposing a lot of the things that we in the black community feel should be done. But the bottom line is this: it is our stupidity that people really are objecting to. Even other blacks are objecting to the stupidity that we just, it just seems to gush out of us like water running over the Niagara Falls. I mean, we just do one stupid thing after another, and then when things go wrong, we want to blame somebody else for it. This is Evangelist George McTyre saying it's time that we wake up, people. Otherwise, this nation is doomed, or rather, the black community is doomed. Everybody else seems to be getting along just fine while we still going around here suffering and we don't know why. It's because we're just too stupid to face or deal with the situation as it is. Good day, and may God richly bless you and your families real good.